Okay, so the two watches that have perhaps made the biggest impact on me in my 30-year plus watch dealing career now are firstly the Audemars Piguet Beast, the offshore, first introduced in 1993. I literally remember bursting out in laughter the first time I saw it. Not because it was so silly, but just because it completely went against everything I was conditioned to believe that a wristwatch should be. Now, the second watch that made as big, if not perhaps a bigger impact on me, was for the opposite reasons, for its lightness, and that is the RM27 Rafael Nadal. Here is a watch that, again, having been down that utilitarian, heavy, chunky, behemoth kind of watch avenue for some years now, suddenly out comes this complicated tourbillon wristwatch that is as light as a feather. And there is much method behind its madness, as its lightness is with good reason. You see, the biggest problem with complicated watches, and particularly tourbillons, is their fragility. But here you had a watch that not only would Richard Mille himself take and throw on the floor to show its durability, but Rafael Nadal, the guy with the biggest forehand in the world, literally wore one in competition. Now, he's on to the fourth series now of the Rafael Nadal RM27, each one differing in its movement and or case composite construction. However, it's the historical RM27 that I want to talk about. And in fact, not even the historical 27 I want to talk about, but let's say the Uber version of that very first watch. You see, though they made 50 pieces of the Rafael Nadal RM27 with its black carbon case, what not many people know is that they actually made 10 pieces of an even more, and excuse my language, but of an even more fuck you lightweight version, being the RM050. Now, the 050 differs from the aforementioned RM27 in that A, it has no carbon caseback, it's a sapphire caseback watch, to show its fully skeletal movement that not only incorporates a tourbillon, much like, again, the aforementioned RM27, but a split-second chronograph in addition, rendering it the most complicated Richard Mille they ever made at the time. A movement weighing less than 9.5 grams. Jesus, I mean, I used to snort more than that a week back in my youth. And so here you have one of the hollowed out carbon base plates, along with one of the struts used to attach the complications. And here you have some of the most exquisite finishing I have ever seen on a wristwatch. Much like the aforementioned Rafael Nadal RM27, which has had several variants of it that they introduced throughout the following years, the RM050 also has had several variants of it introduced. Also, you had the black and gold Lotus, which I'm not really a huge fan of. I don't know if you spotted the movement finish, but it's nothing like the quality or the level of the original, the RM050. We've also had the subsequent Jean Todds with the blue case, the Airbus, and so on. But none of these are pictured on the Richard Mille website as their historical model. But this one isn't just one of the 10, it's the number one of the 10. The number one of the 10 being the very one that they feature on the Richard Mille website. So if that doesn't give you bragging rights, God knows what will. You have one of the 10 most complicated wristwatches ever made by Richard Mille, it being the number one of the 10, the number one of the 10 that went on to shape the horological map of the world that we live in today.